everyone, welcome to another Color Wednesday video. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Yesterday I just wanted to play with some Tim Holtz distress paints, and I just turned the camera on and this is what happened. I actually did a few other cards during this card making session, but this is the one that I thought that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm starting out with this tree stamp from Simon Says Stamp. This is from the Giving Thanks stamp set, and I'm just stamping that in some archival jet black ink. It's a waterproof ink. I'm going to be adding some water to these paints, so I wanted to make sure that that ink wouldn't have any problems. I'm using Picked Raspberry Distress Paint, and I'm just dabbing on a little bit kind of off to one side. And then I'm going to be using some mustard seed as well, and you know, if I need to practice off to the side, I can just put that right on my craft sheet. That's why I'm working on a craft sheet. So put on some mustard seed, and then the last part is Salty Ocean. And this one was a little bit watery. It was the first time I'd really used that color. So I ended up kind of shaking it off camera and then coming back, and it was much thicker and the consistency that it's supposed to be. So you'll notice that the colors are going to kind of run down to the bottom of the tree. So I'm spraying the water in that direction because I don't want the colors to mix too much, because they can kind of create a muddy brown mess. I'd been sort of practicing with these colors in particular, and so I figured that out pretty soon, that I needed to make sure that the direction I had the water run needed to be in a way that wouldn't make them mix too much. So now I'm just using a baby wipe, and this would actually be better with a dry baby wipe, but this one happened to be a little bit damp. And I'm just dabbing on and taking away some of that color because I didn't want it to be so strong, and I wanted to kind of create some areas that were a little bit lighter. And also I wanted the color to run down, but I didn't want it to run that far down. So as long as you grab it while it's still pretty wet, you can kind of dab away that color. And the thing that's kind of fun about distress paints is that once they're dry, it's permanent. They're not going to pull up and mix anymore. So if I wanted to, I could actually add more color on top of this. I ended up liking it kind of just the way it was after I cleaned things up with my baby wipe. But there is that option. So if you do have distress paints or you're looking into purchasing some, that is one of the features that's really neat about this particular type of paint. So I'm going to hit that with my heat tool to give it some help drying. And then I'm going to start working on the bottom portion of this tree area. Just cleaned up my craft sheet. And then I'm going to be bringing in another paint color. The color I'm going to be using is Evergreen Bough. And it's just like a nice muted green color. I'm just dabbing that really along the bottom. I'm using the very edge of that circular sponge top because I don't want it to add too much of the color. I just wanted it to kind of put dabs of color so it sort of looked a little bit like greenery or bushes around the bottom of the tree. Bringing in a little bit of yellow to sort of hint that there's flowers on top of it. Then I just misted it with a little tiny bit of water. It got it to soften a little bit, but I did want it to soften even more than that, so I turned it around so that I could spray in the direction toward the bottom of this watercolor cardstock. And then I was able to use my heat tool to really move that water around and get it moving just a little tiny bit. After I hit it with my heat tool, before it was completely dry, I actually turned it back around and took a baby wipe to it as well. So I wanted to dab off some of that color. I wanted it to be a little bit softer, especially at the very bottom of the card. I'm also slightly rubbing it. You'll notice I'm rubbing it as I work, and that just helps blend the colors just a tiny bit. So at this point I dried it, and I decided that my little scene that I've been creating here was pretty much done. This is a really different look. It's kind of watercolory and whatnot. I'm using the Color and Sunshine stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm using 3 different stamps that are on that stamp set. One says you add, or I think it's you add, I'm not sure, you bring, there we go, you bring. And then the next stamp is just the word color. And then the final stamp is Into My Life. And I like that there's 3 different stamps on this because you can really build your own sentiment. Like if I wanted to, I could have stamped that color in pink or red or blue or something like that. I chose black for the entire sentiment in particular because I really wanted it to play off that tree trunk. So as far as adhering the watercolor paper to my card front, I'm using some foam tape I've had this in my stash for a really long time, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. And I saw Jennifer McGuire use it like a couple days ago. I think it was in our Clean and Simple 3 class. And I was like, oh yeah, I have that. And so I decided to break it out. It's really good for when you're using watercolor cardstock or you have a really heavy piece that you're going to be adhering, because it really holds on and it's a little bit more sturdy. So that's the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed and you'll try out some distress paints. I have 3 more videos for you to check out, and they are 3 videos or 3 cards that I've used distress paints on in the past. So if you were looking for some more techniques or different ways to use your distress paints, go ahead and check out these 3 videos. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. That helps me know that you liked it. And also hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. And you can visit my blog at kmwernerdesign.com. If you click on the screen where it says visit my blog, it will go directly to today's blog post for this card. So if you're looking for the complete supply list with links and just seeing what else I have to say about this card, go ahead and click over to my blog. You can catch me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. And I will catch you on Friday. Thanks for watching.